What's up, everybody? Paul here from the Hoops Crew with a round 17 match reaction. We've just come off beating the Tigers to the tune of 72 points. It's a good time to be a Cat supporter. It's a good time to be a fan of George Stevens and what he demonstrated this weekend after a late call-up. Very excited to get into this match reaction and to cast our eyes forward to the rest of the season. But let's hone in on this game a little bit, shall we? Geelong getting up against the Tigers, 18 goals, 16, 124 to the Tigers, 7, 10, 52. A little bit of junk time in the final quarter for the Cats led to the Tigers actually coming out victorious in that final quarter to the tune of 1 point. It was 3 goals, 3 to 3 goals, 4. The Cats had put the cue in the rack 100% at that point, but a fantastic effort from our Cats, doing an awesome job, winning comprehensively. They blew the game open, specifically in the second and third terms, and ensured that Richmond had no chance of pulling out some little sneaky miracle. 72 points, the final margin. So here's the worm. As I said, the second and third terms were really where the damage was done, where we piled on the goals. Jeremy Cameron in particular, really cashing in during this period, but really solid contributions across the board. Jezza got his 4, Shannon Neal got 3. There was some really great solid contributions beyond those two as well. And we'll talk all about that when we get to some of the individual numbers. But we're going to hone in on some team stats next, but we'll do that after a word from our sponsor.
The Hoops Crew Media Network is proudly sponsored by Cyril Cook Florist. Visit them at shop 1211 Leather Street in Breakwater. Phone them on 035 222 2244 or visit their website at www.cyrilcookflorist.com.au and use the offer code GOCATS in the voucher field at checkout to get 20% off your next online purchase.
Thank you, Cyril Cook Florist, as always, for your ongoing support of the Hoops Crew and all we get up to. Now, let's break down some team stats here, where it's pretty comprehensive in favour of the Cats. We've got our disposal account, 386, quite high for the Cats, versus 359 for the Tigers. This was a high disposal game, but it's really down to efficiency and where the Cats cut the Tigers off that led to a significant margin in favour of the Cats. The handball game, Richmond showed at times that if you can chain your handball, and we've seen this time and time again against the Cats, if you can chain your handball, you're going to go a long way towards beating the Cats, and they really put in a really solid performance in that respect. Inside 50s, though, Geelong dominated and then retained the ball inside 50 really importantly, which is leading to that high efficiency inside 50 count. Free kicks, 17-12 in favour of the Cats. Not much to see there. Tackle pressure was fantastic. Tom Atkins especially, and we'll talk about him shortly. The hit-out figures, great job by Reece Stanley against Big Nank. Got a little bit of support from Shannon Neal along the way, but did an awesome job. Their clearance figures, we really control that, especially at the centre, which is, again, we're starting to see a bit of a change here for the Cats. Geelong has, for the longest time this season, and kind of years going before that as well, been stronger around the stoppage clearance, less so at the centre clearance. But that is starting to shift in recent weeks. And I think the inclusion of George Stevens really played a big part of it in this particular matchup as well, who was so dominant in that space. Stoppage clearances, 27 apiece. And again, the possession game, we can see it. Turnovers, Geelong causing Richmond to turn the ball over at really important parts of the ground for the Cats. And I guess critical spots for the Tigers where you don't want to turn the ball over. We control the ball through kick and handball, and the AFL website is struggling a bit. There we go. What is going on? Marks 20-11 in terms of the inside 50s, and that's obviously a really big one for the Cats, especially this whole idea of retaining the ball inside 50. You can take those marks in there, you're going a long way towards it. And when we get to tackles inside 50 as well, if this site chooses to behave, tackles inside 50, 12-1 in favour of the Cats as well. The ability to retain the ball inside 50 is Geelong's greatest strength, from the way we set up structurally behind it to the way we attack and defend inside that forward 50. It's been huge for us and an awesome job from the Cats over the course of the night. The tackles figure, 61-56, is heavily underpinned by one individual in particular. The AFL website is an absolute mess at the moment for some reason. So bear with me here as we scrub on through. That's the second take of doing the team stats because it was so broken. 17 tackles from Tom Atkins. 17. He had 10 like a minute into the second quarter. And then as Geelong controlled the ball, I suppose, there was less reason for him to have to tackle. Geelong was kind of running away with it a bit more often. But fantastic effort from him. I'm going to sort this by disposals once it all wakes up. There we go. Max Holmes leading the ground with 36. Brian Myers with 29. Grind started a little bit wobbly. You felt like the confidence was a little bit damaged from the Geelong and Brisbane game. He was kind of struggling to hit targets early on, but very quickly worked himself back into it and played a really great game. Jack Martin with his best game for the Cats so far and hit the scoreboard with his first goal as well. Did a really great job off half back. Zach Guthrie was great as well. And there he is, Georgie Boy Stevens, doing an amazing job in his debut game. I'd love to, if this site would just work, would love to check his time on ground, but I think I'm going to, there we go. From 73% game time, 21 disposals, 8 clearances. Led the game. Led the Cats. And I think I'm going to have to work with a really horrible website right now that is struggling for no apparent reason. Score involvements, I think it was, led the ground there as well. No players ever had as many score involvements in their first game as George Stevens did. So really fantastic work there. I'm going to struggle to get it working, so I'll just let it continue to limp along, and we won't worry too much about that. We'll get back to our sorting by disposal camp. But look at that, 21 from Reece Stanley, 19 to Cameron. There we go. It's caught up again. 21 to Stanley, 20 to Manor. Jeremy Cameron, 19. Ollie Dempsey had an inconsistent 18. He showed signs at points, but didn't thrive at other stages. Things weren't always clicking nicely for him, but he soldiered on. Tom Atkins, as many tackles as he had disposals, was great. Tom Stewart continuing to really work his way into this season and develop some really strong, consistent, typical Tom Stewart form. He struggled early this year, obviously through injury. But I think the Tom Stewart that we are seeing in the lead up to finals here is the Tom Stewart we are well and truly used to. Mark O'Connor doing well as well. Jack Bowes as a late in for Bailey Smith did a great job as well. Shannon Neal with his 3 goals, 1. Brad Close with a solid 2 goals. Jack Henry doing what he does. Look through this, and there's no weak links. Ollie Henry kicked 1 goal, 1, and there was a few other opportunities that he potentially, the ball just sailed over his head. One from danger, for example, where he backed into the space perfectly. It just carried a little bit further over his head and resulted in a goal anyway, so it was no big deal. He was really important and popping up in important stages, and he brought defensive pressure. Tackle count, 4. That's not an Ollie Henry stat we are used to seeing, and that's what we want to see from Ollie Henry if he wants to retain a spot in this team. I'm okay with 1 goal, 1. I'm okay with that stat line across the board, especially when you go and add some really solid defensive pressure on top of it. So good work, Ollie Henry. Hopefully this is what can kind of trigger a turnaround in a really difficult season for you. And Mitch Duncan was never used as the sub in the end, so he got himself a free game off. Congratulations, Mitch. Look after that body, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Those are the team stats. That is the match all sorted. Geelong and Richmond, the Cats winning by 72 points, 18-16, 124, beating the Tigers 7-10-52. Don't make anything in the last quarter, guys. I know, Geelong's final quarter has been the most discussed aspect of our game this season because we continue to win it. We, of course, lost this one. The game was over. The queue was in the rack. Nothing to see here. Thank you all for having tuned into this latest match reaction. I've enjoyed bringing it to you, and will enjoy talking to you all on the Paul James Show on Monday as we break the game down further and then enter preview mode later in the week going forward with our game against GWS next weekend. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe to the Hoops Crew on YouTube, like the video, share it with your friends and family, get it out there to all Cats fans, no matter who they are, how savvy they are in the world of YouTube. Get them subscribing, get them checking out our videos. We want more eyes on it. We want to have as large of a conversation about the Geelong Football Club and their week-to-week form as we possibly can. We want you to be a part of it. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/thehoopscrew. We can subscribe for a 7-day free trial period, get all of our early access, extended, and exclusive content. And if you like it, it only costs $5 a month at our Patreon to continue to support and check out all of that stuff. It gets delivered directly to your email inbox. In terms of socials, you'll find me at Paul James Games. That's on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram. The Hoops Crew is at The Hoops Crew. And until next time, remain Geelong strong, everyone. Congratulations, Cats, on a big win. 72 points, a nice percentage boosting match. Look forward to doing this all again next weekend. But until then, remain Geelong strong. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you later.